Example number 5, solve each equation and make sure to check your solution. Okay, so letter A, the absolute value of x plus 6 equals 2x. So we have the distance between x and 6. The distance between those two is 2x. So starting out, I have my absolute value alone, which is great. So my first equation, x plus 6 equals positive 2x. Second equation, x plus 6 equals negative 2x. I'm going to solve both equations. So on my first one, I'm going to try to get my variables on the same side. So I'm going to subtract x, which is going to leave me with 6 equals 2x minus x is simply x. So x is 6. Second equation, I'm going to do the same thing. And again, I usually try to get my variables positive, but if I just subtract x, then I already have my variables on the same side of the equation, so having them negative is okay. So 6 equals negative 3x. Then I have to get my x by itself, so I'm going to divide by negative 3. So that's going to leave us with x equals negative 2. Now, just like before, we're going to check our solutions, but this time I'm looking at kind of what happened in our last video, and I'm saying, if I take a negative 2 and I substitute it right here, so that's going to give me 2 times negative 2. That's a negative number. Can I have the absolute value of anything be a negative number? No. So I already know this guy is going to be an extraneous solution. He's not going to work. So then I'm going to go look at this guy and go, well, if I substitute a 6, 2 times 6 is positive. That could probably work, so let's check it. Absolute value of 6 plus 6 equals 2 times 6. 6 plus 6 is 12 equals 12. So the absolute value of 12 is 12, which equals 12. So our only solution to this equation would be x equals 6. Letter C, absolute value of 3x minus 2 equals x. So same idea. We're going to take our absolute value, 3x minus 2 equals x, and then 3x minus 2 equals negative x. On our first one, I'm going to try to get my variables together. So I have a constant on the left. I'm going to move the variables to the right. So subtract 3x. That's going to leave us with a negative 2 equals negative 2x. Then we're going to divide by negative 2. So x equals negative divided by a negative is a positive, which is going to give me positive 1. On my second equation, I'm going to subtract 3x. I'm going to subtract 3x. That's going to leave me with a negative 2 equals negative 4x. Then I'm going to divide by negative 4. Those guys will cancel. X equals positive 2/4, because a negative and a negative make a positive, which is going to simplify to 1/2. Now I'm going to check both of these to see if any of them are extraneous. If I look kind of like I did last time, if I substitute in a 1, 1 is positive. That could probably work. 1/2, well, 1/2 is positive. That could probably work. So far I don't see any issues. If I start with 1, absolute value of 3 times 1 minus 2 equals 1. 3 times 1 is 3, minus 2 is 1. That gives me the absolute value of 1 equals 1. The absolute value of 1 is 1 equals 1. Yes, that's a good solution. Now we're going to try 1/2. So we're going to have the absolute value of 3 times 1/2 minus 2 equals 1/2. Now, if you are freaking out because this is a fraction, guys, that's okay. Go get Desmos. I'm going to do this one without Desmos, but you can use Desmos. So we've got the absolute value of 3 times 1/2 is 3/2 minus 2, which is the absolute value of 1/2. Oh, I'm sorry, equals 1/2. If I try to do 3/2 minus 2, I'm going to have to find a common denominator. So This has a 1. The common denominator between 1 and 2 is 2. And if I put a 2 in the denominator, I have to multiply this by 2, which is actually going to get me 4. So 3 halves minus 4 halves is negative 1 half. So I have the absolute value of negative 1 half equals 1 half, and then the absolute value of negative 1 half is 1 half equals 1 half. So absolutely both solutions work. On this one, we don't have an extraneous solution. Both solutions are good. Letter B, absolute value of 2 plus x equals the absolute value of x minus 8. So this one has absolute values on both sides of the equation, but remember, we still kind of handle it the same way. So we drop our absolute values. 2 plus x equals x minus 8. Then we do it again. 2 plus x equals the opposite of x minus 8. And remember, on this one, you have to use parentheses. Over here, I'm going to subtract x from both sides of the equation, which actually ends up canceling them out, which is going to leave me with 2 equals negative 8. Well, that's kind of funny. 2 equals negative 8. Does 2 ever equal negative 8? No. So this actually means no solution. So at the moment, we're dealing with a no solution. So let's hop over here and see what happens on our second one. So I'm going to keep my 2 plus x equals, I'm going to distribute my negative. So negative 1 times x is negative x. Negative 1 times negative 8 is positive 8. Now I'm going to try to get both of my variables on the same side. So add x. That's going to leave me with 2x, and then I still have my 2. So 2 plus 2x equals 8. Then I'm going to get my constants on the same side. So I'm going to subtract 2. 2x equals 6. Then I'm going to divide by 2, which leaves me with x equals 3. At the moment, we're only dealing with one solution because over here we got no solution. So x equals 3. I'm going to substitute it back in and see if it works in my equation. So absolute value of 2 plus 3 equals the absolute value of 3 minus 8. 2 plus 3 is 5. 3 minus 8 is negative 5. The absolute value of 5 is 5, and the absolute value of negative 5 is 5. So this guy's a good solution. X equals 3. Last one, letter D. Absolute value of 5x minus 2 equals the absolute value of 5x plus 4. Okay, first equation, 5x minus 2 equals 5x plus 4. Second equation, 5x minus 2 equals the opposite of 5x plus 4. And remember, use those parentheses. On my first one, I'm going to subtract 5x. 5x cancels, 5x cancels. That's going to leave me with a negative 2 equals 4. Okay, guys, does negative 2 equal 4? No, that's weird. So, nope. Right now, no solution. Okay, let's try again. On the left, I'm going to leave my 5x minus 2. On the right, I'm going to distribute my negative, so negative 5x minus 4. Then I'm going to get my variables on the same side, so I'm going to add 5x, which is going to leave me with 10x, bring down the minus 2, equals negative 4. Then I'm going to get my constants on the same side, add 2, which is going to leave me with 10x equals negative 2. Then we're going to divide by 10. X equals a positive divided by a negative is a negative, and then both of these are going to simplify by 2, which is going to get me negative 1/5. Okay, now we have to substitute it back in and see if that works. So, absolute value of 5 times negative 1/5 minus 2 equals the absolute value of 5 times negative 1/5 plus 4. Well, 5 times 1/5, these are kind of reciprocals of one another. You could think of taking 5 and dividing it into 5 pieces. Well, 5 divided into 5 pieces, there's one piece in each group. But keep in mind there's a negative, so this is really negative 1. Negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3, so I'm looking at the absolute value of negative 3. Equals, again, 5 times 1/5, well, you're taking 5 and breaking it into 5 pieces. There's 1 in each piece, so this again is negative 1, plus 4 is positive 3. Then we're going to look at the absolute value of negative 3, which is 3, and the absolute value of positive 3, which is 3. That's a true statement. Your only solution, x equals negative 1/5.